What's up, metalheads? I'm Jamie. This is the Blades and EDC channel, and today we're going to take a look at a knife that has been out for a while now. First time I've had one though in hand, and I'm a fan. Starting out with the most premium version of this knife, and it is the Kizer Mini Begleiter. This is the frag titanium liner-like version with the M390 blade. Got a hollow grind on there, drop point blade, small little EDC knife with ridiculously good action for such a small knife. This thing has a stiff detent for a little knife. You got to really push some pressure on those thumb studs, but once you break that detent, that blade's coming. This is one you can't fail. You cannot fail this knife. It's just not possible. The detent's so stiff that once it breaks, it's coming out, no matter how you try to deploy it. It's kind of small, so trying to grip it right to, yeah, I can't fail it. Reverse flicking or thumb flicking, it's fantastic, and it rockets that blade out. Fun fact about this knife: this pocket clip will fit this knife. It's a perfect fit. So just FYI, if you can find a pocket clip like this that's made for this knife, it fits the variant perfectly. The PE and the PE2. Just a fun fact there. This is a $140 knife though, so you're not going to be buying this knife to put a pocket clip on a $60 or $100 knife. Where you might, I don't know. You could just swap pocket clips back and forth if you have this knife. Put it on your variant and carry it for a while, and then switch back to this one. So the action's what's so surprising about this knife, because it's so little, and that detent is just, listen to this pop. I'm gonna bring it over closer to the mic so it won't be on camera. Listen to the pop when I open it. That's the open. Here's the close. That was open, close. I hope that's picking that up. It even pops on the open, makes a pop. Very good detent, perfect detent actually. It's unfailable. You cannot fail this knife. Anybody else that has one of these, comment below. Is yours like that? Is it the detent like, it's impossible to fail? Push as lightly as you can, and as soon as that detent breaks, it's flying out. So very impressive. I'll give you the specs on it real quick, and then we'll do some size comparisons. Overall length is only 6.65 inches. Blade length is 2.91 inches. Blade thickness is only 110 thousandths, and it has a nice deep hollow grind on it. M390 blade steel. Weight is 2.8 ounces. And yeah, so fantastic. All right, let's do some size comparisons real quick. We're going to start with the one that I think is a good comparison knife for it. It's the Tactile Rockwall. Rockwall's a little longer, but competitive knives here, gentleman knives. That's what I would call both of these, a gentleman's knives. Here's the MBK EDC. Very close in size. I'll tell you what, 3 fantastic knives right there, man. What a lineup. Those are some great knives for gentleman's carry for sure. Since we were just talking about it, let's go ahead and pull the variant out here. Variant PE2. So quite a bit smaller than the PE2. How about the Paramilitary 2 by Spyderco? It's going to be way smaller than that. Not even close in size. Let's do a pair of 3. It'll be closer in size, but it's still going to be way bigger than this mini Begleiter for sure. It's way bigger than that. Yeah, I don't have many this small. What else do I have here that's even close to this size? Here's the mini Sheepdog. Okay, it's actually a little longer than the mini Sheepdog. Here's the Benchmade Mini Freak. So a little shorter than the mini Freak, a little longer than the mini Sheepdog. And we'll go ahead and do a bug out real quick. And I got one more little shorty here. Just a bitch spade bug out. Here is the Wiha Banter. Very good comparison. Almost identical in length to the Banter, but obviously not nearly as wide. And we'll go ahead and do the Penguin while we're here. So that should give you guys a good idea on size. This is a tiny knife, but almost 3-inch blade length though. So, you know, tiny in a way, but not tiny. But it feels very small in hand. This is not one you can get a really good grip on. Obviously, you're not going to hard use this knife. Do you have some nice jimping right here? Your thumb lands perfectly. The pocket clip works really well. Although I will say about this pocket clip, seems like it could get bent easily. It's a little light, you know, right there on the spring. It's very thin where they've milled this like this, I guess. Actually, I think they milled it and then folded it after the fact. And it's very thin right there, so it has some tension, but this is one you could easily bend. It would be something to think about. You wouldn't carry this in certain situations where you could get your pocket clip caught on stuff, that's for sure. Lock bar access is fantastic. Couldn't ask for any better. And it is buttery smooth. The drop action is a guillotine. For a tiny little knife, it's a freaking guillotine. I mean, you gotta get one shake, that's it. Kizer's action, they're just killing it, man. Even on their more budget-friendly knives, their action's ridiculously good. And this is no exception. This isn't more budget-friendly, but the edges are all nice and chamfered. Even where the frag corners hit, there are no sharp edges. They chamfered it down really nicely all the way around. Sometimes with frag, if they don't do it right, you'll get that sharp little point right there on the edge. It can be uncomfortable, but in this one, they got it just right. I think these liners are still, but I don't know the answer to that question. I've looked online to see if I can find an answer. I can't find anything. I'd have to disassemble it, check it with a magnet. So, well, I guess I could just check it with a magnet. Here, yeah, they are still. So, because the titanium's definitely not magnetic. So, yeah, they are still hardware, still liners. Which, you know, at 140 bucks, it would be nice for it all to be titanium. Especially if you want to, this would be a great candidate for anodizing, right? So, frag is always a good candidate for anodizing to get multicolors. And then you got a nice titanium pocket clip. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this knife, guys. I might check out a more budget-friendly version. This is not my knife, by the way. This is sent into the channel, so I have not cut with it. And I am not familiar in any way whatsoever with Kizer's M390. I've never owned or sharpened a knife that Kizer made with M390 on it. So, if you have or this knife, comment below. Let people know what you think about the M390. Is it good? What's the? I think it tells me the heat treat somewhere. No, nothing's telling me the heat treat on it. So I don't know. But yeah, it's sharp as freaking razor. That I can tell you. And with that hollow grind and as small as this blade is, this thing is going to be super slicey. Something else I would like to check too is the blade thickness real fast. I bet it's 90 thousandths or less. No, it's bigger than I thought, thicker than I thought. 118, 114. So it's thicker than I thought it was, but still, with that hollow grind, this thing's gonna be so slicey. Great gentleman's carry, no doubt about it. I'd say a gym shorts carry, but it's got all the steel hardware and steel liners, but it's stainless steel, so it should be okay. But it would be nicer if that was all titanium also, especially at $140. So yeah, that's really my only complaint. Everything else about this knife is ridiculously good. There's nothing to really complain about at all. If you are not good at thumb flicking knives or reverse flicking knives, this wouldn't be one you'd want to start to learn with, because that, when I say a detent's stiff, I'm not kidding. But that makes this knife so good also. It's unfellable. I'm trying every time right now. Every time I try to deploy this knife that you're seeing, I'm pushing as lightly as I can to try to fill it. Yeah, that's as light as I can push. Unfellable. Fantastic. Alright guys, comment below if you know anything about the blades, the M390 from Kizer, if you've sharpened anything with it, how it holds up, how easy it takes an edge. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button for me. If you're new, consider subscribing, and everyone check and make sure your notifications are on, and I will see you guys on the next one.